accepting of all I am today. I am releasing who I was yesterday. I am hopeful about who I will be tomorrow. I know that no matter what happens, I am always moving forward. Things are working out for me because I am working on me, and I am proud of myself. Welcome back to another episode of MyCurlsSpeak With Key. Today we will unpack loving yourself always in all ways. Now, I know that title might sound real cliche, and you may think that you love yourself, because I promise you, I thought I did too. But different things happen in life that make you really wake up and see that we have conditional love for ourselves. Like, we love ourselves when we're up, and we love ourselves when we're having a good hair day, and we love ourselves when the outfit fits just right. But when things are not always going the way that they're supposed to go, sometimes your biggest critic is yourself. Now, like I said on the last episode, there's a difference between accountability and being attacked. But we do need to be able to accept ourselves for who we are and love ourselves deep down. Recently, I would say the last 3 months, I say this on every episode, but I'm going to say it again because it's so big. I'm 30 now. And the last 3 months, I've had like this terrible thing going on with my skin. And when I say like it's bad, like some days I have like black marks on my face. It really looks like eczema. Now, I need to do some research on that because I know that children can be born with eczema and then they can grow out of it. I've just never heard of adults getting eczema as adults, but it could be eczema. This year, I will make sure I go to a dermatologist if it gets any worse. But I just said I like to say it's been days where I've canceled plans with my friends because I was embarrassed about how my face looked. Or, you know, those times where you get on Snapchat and you get on there and, you know, when you press the camera real fast before you get the filter. It's been times where I've actually done that and it made me cry because I wasn't okay with the way that my acne is at the moment. And I said I like to say that it's a journey. Self-confidence is a job. Just like forgiveness, because you have to wake up every day and decide that you're going to forgive yourself. Self-confidence is the same thing. But I really feel like when it comes to confidence, a lot of that is instilled in us when we are children. Meaning, children that come up in households where they're not complimented a lot of times they seek that validation other places. And they don't see it within themselves because they weren't taught to love themselves. And that's why with my kids, I have a boy and I have a girl, the best of both worlds. And I make sure that I encourage them and tell them that I tell my daughter she's beautiful. I tell her she's beautiful when her hair is done. I tell her she's beautiful when it's not. Because I don't want her to think that just because I just got my hair braided, this is the only time I look good. So I make sure when her hair is I won't say raggedy because I don't let her look raggedy, but when her hair needs to be touched up, I make sure that I tell her she's beautiful. And with my son, I make sure that I tell him he's handsome. And also, you know, we're going to touch on this on another episode, but it's really important to find out love languages because our children speak love languages as well. So the way that we talk to them is their inner voice. But I said I like to say, I also make sure with my children that I compliment them on things that are not superficial. Like I tell my son that I like how patient he is and how he always has a smile on his face. And when I talk to my daughter, I tell my daughter how I love how she colors and it's all in the lines. Like she's 7, but she color a little better than me. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell her that, or I tell her that I love the fact that she's smart. And that she likes to teach me things, or at least it looks like she's teaching me. I kind of know, but I like for her to show me how to do things. I do that so that my children don't think that their looks are everything. And they also understand that they bring more to the table. Because when I was growing up, my mom, she always was working. Like always. I remember a time frame where the only time I got to spend time with my mom was when I went to work with her. because she worked just that much. And with that being said, my mother, her love language is not words of affirmation. She doesn't speak that. So she never really said, oh, Key, you're pretty. I didn't really hear that growing up. I didn't hear that. So the first time I heard a guy tell me I was cute, like my head was on the clouds. Like, oh, he think I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know how to accept attention from males because I didn't get a lot of that type of attention at home. And I really feel like as I'm getting older, I'm learning so many things about myself, and I'm learning about self-confidence as an adult. See, these are not things that they teach you in school. I wish they taught classes on self-love in school. And maybe 5 years from now, maybe I can teach self-love in school. We're going to see how they go. But making the choice every day to accept myself and to love me for where I am. Now, let me repeat that. To accept myself and love me for where I am right now. And the reason why I said that twice, it is so easy to get distracted and off course because we have social media. We have all of these popular people from our area and everything else. And we have celebrities, Instagram stars, all this stuff that we're watching, right? It is so easy to get caught up on the fact that somebody else's podcast is jumping better than mine. You get what I'm saying? Or they may have more listeners, or maybe their brand, I like their color. It's so easy to get caught up in that you fall out of love with yourself because you're constantly comparing yourself to other people. I took about 4. I took 4 months. I took a sabbatical. I like that word. Sabbatical. I took a sabbatical off of social media. It was like after my breakup, and it was a public breakup, and I just didn't want anybody in my face. I brought enough attention to myself. I just wanted to go off the grid. During that time frame, all I had was Pinterest. I didn't have Twitter. I wasn't on Snapchat. I wasn't on Instagram, Facebook. I wasn't on anything. Every now and again, I would check back in on Facebook. I would get on, look around, and then I would deactivate again because I wasn't ready to be social. And those 4 months that I took off the grid and I stopped minding everybody else's business was when I was able to really, really find validation within myself. Like every day is not easy. It's not. Like I said, I looked in the mirror. Actually, I just went to the bathroom maybe 10 minutes ago, and I looked in the mirror. I was like, woo-wee. Because the lighting was real, real bright in there. And I saw how my skin was. And I was like, you know what? But I'm still pretty. I'm still beautiful. I'm just going through whatever I'm going through right now. And I remember when I first moved back here, when I first moved back home, I was about 286 pounds. I went to the doctor, I think it was last month. Yes, I went to the doctor last month, and I was only 250 pounds. And I made jokes about it. I made so many jokes about it because I was like, okay, well, I was so sad over my breakup. I went to sleep a sad female, and I woke up bad. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have a roll nowhere. I don't even have back rolls, y'all. Body yaddy yaddy. I don't even have back rolls. I look good. But then, even though I felt like I look good in my body, I didn't feel like I look good in my face. And for me, that's big because, I want to be pretty. You know what I'm saying? So I felt real, real intimidated. And like I said a few minutes ago, I hid in my house. If I couldn't book my MUA, my makeup artist, I wouldn't go anywhere. If I didn't have a full face of makeup. And today, while I'm doing this podcast, I can honestly say that I see the fault in that because I have to be able to, just like I tell my daughter and my son, how they're great people and how I love the way they do things. I have to be able to see myself without looking straight at the superficial, on the outside. Because I feel like, now I might be biased, but I feel like I'm a good person. on the inside, regardless of, whatever going on. So I hope this episode, it helps whoever it is, as, just like me, that, sometimes you need an extra boost in your self-esteem, or your self-confidence is not as high as it is when you first get that fresh set of bundles. I hope that after you listen to this episode, you go look in the mirror and you remember how beautiful you really are. And that all of that really doesn't matter. Thank you for listening to another episode of MyCurlsSpeak with Key. If you like to follow the show's Instagram, it's MCS with Key. My personal Instagram is The Diary of Key. That's also my name on Snapchat, Clubhouse, and Twitter. You are more than free to follow me on any of those if you're interested. Thank you. See you next week.